and welcome to my TV show recaps. I do weekly reviews on scripted shows, reality TV, and trending topics. If you're interested, please click the subscribe button, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all at my TV show recaps. We're back with season 14, episode 7 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Drew finally shows up at Sonyas cookout, and we have Sonya showing her Olympic gold medalist. So they start talking back and forth about this $25 makeup artist that Drew had lent Sonya when they were in New York. Sonya said that Drew did not give her the makeup artist contact. That is why she could not pay the $25. Now, this seems a little bit odd to me because $25 is such a low amount to charge for makeup that I would assume that Sonya would have $25 cash on her, so she doesn't actually need the makeup artist contact. So they start to go back and forth, and Drew starts making faces and calling Sonya a clout chaser. Now, side note, I would say that Drew argues exactly like her husband Ralph. They are both gaslighters, and they don't listen to the other person that they're having a conversation with. All they care about is getting their point across and distracting the person by being loud. Another quick side note I wanted to add is that I think that Sonya's mom shouldn't have gotten involved when Sonya and Drew were arguing. I just feel like this is a slippery slope, and if Drew had responded to Sonya's mom, it would have taken the argument to a whole nother level. So I feel like for now, just leave the responding to Mama Joyce and wait. So next we have Drew bringing up Kenya's issue with the vibrating panties to the ladies at the table. So this is where, to me, Drew tries to throw Kenya under the bus, but you know Kenya, she instantly identifies that Drew tried to throw her under the bus, and then she proceeds to say that she didn't think that the vibrating panties were appropriate. So as she was sort of making her complaint to Candy at the table, Mama Joyce jumps in and was like, you know what? If you don't want vibrating panties, don't put it on. And I agree, but Kenya did that. She didn't put on the panties. I don't know why this is becoming sort of like a big deal, because we all know that Candy loves any moment she can to promote any of her brands. So promoting bedroom candy on a trip that doesn't require sex toys is in line for what Candy would do. So anyone shouldn't be really surprised. So next we have Marlo going to the Women's Expo in Atlanta. Side note, I feel like there's always an expo in Atlanta. You guys have the hair expo, the women's expo, the dating expo. It's always an event out there in Atlanta. But anyways, Marlo has a nonprofit called Glam It Up. This is a nonprofit for girls who have grown up in the foster care system, and I really think this is one of the best charities I've seen on any of the franchises because it directly relates to Marlo herself. She grew up in foster care, and she really has firsthand experience as to what the girls face. So for her to give back to a community that she's part of really is a good look for her. So next we have Sheree meeting up with her life coach at her house. So what's funny is when I was watching the show, I didn't notice that the life coach's name was Jack Daniels. And I feel like that name is something to keep in mind given the kind of advice he was giving Sheree during this therapy session. So Jack Daniels was out here talking about Sheree is a dime piece, Tyrone is jacking off to her while he's in prison. I was like, hold on, hold the hell on. What are we talking about here? So Sheree ends up saying that she feels stupid and naive for falling for someone like Tyrone, and the coach asked her if she is done with Tyrone, and she couldn't give an answer. So Sheree and the therapist sort of conclude that instead of chasing after Tyrone, she needs to chase after her business, She by Sheree. It's so weird to me that She by Sheree has brand recognition for over 13 years, and Sheree hasn't been able to do anything with that brand. She has no product, no joggers, not even a sweatshirt. So I think that she needs to spend more time thinking about her business instead of thinking about Tyrone. So the next scene we see Candy sifting through some rags to donate to Marlo's charity. Candy then calls Marlo and asks Marlo if she wanted these clothes, and Marlo says, you know what, she doesn't accept hand-me-downs for her foster kids. And I sort of agree with Marlo. I mean, you can look at it both ways. Marlo doesn't probably want to accept hand me down for her kids because these kids have never had the opportunity to have brand new clothes. On the other hand, Candy's clothes are probably really gently worn and of high quality, so it shouldn't make that much of a difference. But this is Marlo's charity, so she does have the right to accept whatever she sees fit for her girls. So Kenya and Sheree meet up and they're both talking about their businesses. Side note, Kenya's skin looked really good in this scene. But so they start talking about their businesses, and Kenya actually says that she has a huge deal on the line with Walmart, and the whole thing might be in jeopardy because she has spent so much time thinking about her personal life with Mark rather than really putting all that effort into making sure that her business was straight. So then Sheree jumps in and says, that's the same thing that has been happening with She by Sheree, that she's had a couple of investors, but it turns out that they just wanted to have a relationship, a personal relationship with Sheree. And I was like, Sheree, you've had 13 years to get She by Sheree off the ground. Kenya has been on this show for what, 7 years? And she was able to get Kenya more hair care in Sally's, in Walmart. So I'm not sure I'm buying this excuse that Sheree is making. So the conversation then turns to Kenya and Marlo's relationship. So the producers actually have a flashback to when Marlo talked about Kenya's mom. And again, I don't think that Kenya and Marlo will ever be friends. I think that their friendship last season was just a strategic alliance for Kenya to take down Portia, which worked. So I really think that I hope that they would be friends, but I just don't see it happening for both of them. Once you've attacked someone the way Marlo attacked Kenya, I don't see a road to forgiveness. So next we see a short clip of Candy in LA, and she is rehearsing her lines with her makeup artist. So her makeup artist reads the line from the script, and Candy's line, I guess, was you should get your clit pierced. I was like, oh my god, here we go. Candy just loves to talk about balls. She loves to talk about balls and pussy. So all the ladies finally arrive at the restaurant, and Drew and Sonia are actually the first ones to arrive. They give each other an awkward hug, and Marlo quickly arrives shortly after that. Marlo explains to both ladies that she has to leave the meeting early because she has another meeting with an attorney that is helping her sister. In case if you don't remember, Marlo's sister is still in prison, and she is actually now refusing to leave prison to go to an inpatient rehabilitation center because she just wants to leave prison without having a commitment to going to rehab. So the rest of the ladies arrive, and Kenya and Marlo begin to fuss. So they actually start arguing about Kenya not showing up to Sheree's Tyrone party. So as you remember, Kenya didn't show up because she was sick. And I actually believe that Kenya was sick. Given that the virus is still going around, I wouldn't feel comfortable if someone came to my party coughing and sneezing and blowing their nose either. So I think that Marlo is making a big deal out of nothing, given the circumstances. During the argument, Marlo then calls out Kenya's wig, which I have to give Marlo a point for. I don't know why Kenya came to this event looking so disheveled. I mean, that wig has to be one of the worst wigs I've seen on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know that my girl Kenya could definitely do better. So next we see Sonia trying to invite the women to Portland, Seattle. I think that she's trying to invite them to go to a trip she has with Nike. And as she's trying to read out the invite, or at least invite the ladies, Drew starts interrupting Sonia. Now, I think that Drew is scarred by how her husband treats her because she is treating other people the exact same way that she complains that Ralph treats her. So every time she goes out, she has this knee jerk reaction to act like an irrational person because her husband treats her sort of poorly. So in the final scene, we see Marlo prepping the boys to talk to their mom to try to convince her to take the inpatient rehab option. Unfortunately, this doesn't work out, and we see Marlo get really emotional. I just hope that Marlo's sister is able to get better and hopefully leave jail soon. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up, share, comment below, and subscribe to the channel.